Hi, my name's Caroline from carolinerushforth.com, freedom from anxiety expert and trainer. And today I want to do a little video on 3 ways to uplift your mind during challenging times. So as I do this video, we are in challenging times. It's the famous year of 2021, following the famous year of 2020. And what I'm really noticing is the feelings and emotions that are coming up for people as they're navigating these times, where it's as though people have got their wings clipped a little bit. And there's also a lot of fear happening. And the thing is with fear is it can be very debilitating and very unmotivating. But whether it's fear or whether it's boredom or whether it's feeling stuck, all of those emotions are going to make a person not want to take action sometimes. And we all need a little bit of a reminder on what to do to help us to move forward and move out of that state. So the first tip that I have is to work in some kind of routine into your day, and also to make sure that your sleep cycle is healthy, and that's your awake state and your sleep state, and to ensure that there's some kind of consistency around that. Because when the body isn't really focused and it kind of goes off track a bit and it's not really in a sleep cycle, then tiredness can set in at the wrong time, awake feelings can set in at the wrong time, and melatonin is naturally more available in the brain when it gets dark. So around sort of, evening time, that's when really we're meant to be kind of coming down, relaxing and preparing our body for sleep. So if those times are being missed in the evening and you're kind of getting tired and feeling tired and sort of overriding that, watching another film or watching more television or going on your social media, you're kind of missing that signal from the brain, and you may find that your sleep is being affected because the melatonin is kind of being depleted and the brain thinks that it's awake and it's daytime all the time that you're stimulating your mind. So do ensure that you bring some kind of routine into your day, into the way that you sleep. Also, exercise throughout the day as well is really important, to work the body, to move the body so that the body is a little bit more knackered towards the end of the day, and that will help your sleep as well. My second tip is about switching out of a negative mindset loop into a positive mindset loop. So really, when you're feeling negative, all that is a state. It's a state, it's a mood, and it can be changed and shifted, but you've got to want to change and shift it. So what can you do to change your state? It can feel very comfortable, or it can feel very familiar to stay in a sort of heavy, unhappy, sort of weighted state, but that actually isn't going to do anything for your motivation, and is not really going to want to make your body move and do anything. You're going to feel very demotivated. So the way to change your state is by doing something differently. And that is by really finding the motivation and the will and the leverage to do something, anything, just do something. So some suggestions would be doing something creative. What is it that you really enjoy that's really creative? Could it be dancing or singing or some kind of art, making things? Or it could be going for some exercise or getting out of the house, going for a walk. Or it could be picking up a new interest, doing something online or some kind of online learning. But all the time that you are sitting in a negative state and you're thinking about the same negativity going round and round in your brain, then you're just going to bring more of that to you, because the brain will think about what you keep telling it. And it's a bit like a magnet, because the more attention that you give something, the bigger it gets. So if you can really work on breaking that state, then you will start to notice a change in your vibration, in your thought processes, and in the way that you feel and how your mood lifts. Now, another way of doing this is one of my favourite state changes is having gratitude, because having gratitude is focusing the mind on what is working, what is going well, what is it that you can feel happy about, or what is it that you can feel joyful about, and remind yourself of what those good feelings are. And if you can just remind yourself and your emotions what feeling good is like, or even feeling neutral, because sometimes you can be so far down the scale that you're like, well, I'm feeling really depressed, I'm feeling really down, I'm feeling really moody, and that can kind of hinder taking action. But if you were to just take some small baby steps to sort of work your way up the scale and at least get to neutral, then you'll start to be able to bring in those more better feeling states. So the way that you could notice more gratitude, have more gratitude, is to write a list of all the achievements that you've had in your life, all of the things that you're proud of, things that people have said to you in the past when you have achieved something or had success, or it could be just going for a run and having ran a certain route, or it could be winning an award with your work or within your kind of local community, or it could be feedback that you've had from your boss, or getting a project in on time and feeling really good about that, or having feedback from fellow colleagues or friends about something that you've done. What about times where you have contributed to a cause, or you have helped to contribute to the highest good of humanity in some way, or you made someone feel good? So just write down those times, those memories of when you felt good. What were they like? What do you see? What do you hear? What do they smell like? What does it sound like? You make them really colourful and write that list out. So you could write a list or just go over and reflect about all of the things that you have now, because there's always someone worse off than you. There's always people who are having a worse time, who don't have a roof over their head and don't have somewhere to sleep at night. As extreme as that sounds, it's still important to be really aware of what is going right now. What is working? What support have you had around you? Who is it that you could reach out to? Knowing that you've got that support network. So just really kind of getting the mind trained into thinking about the things that have gone well, things that you're proud of. What can you have gratitude for now? It might just be, being at home, because it could be worse, it could be a lot worse. So, have a think about the things that you could be grateful for, and that will really start to shift the state in your well-being and in your mind. And then finally, I want to talk about baby steps to clarity. Clarity is something that a lot of people are missing at the moment, and clarity is about having the bigger picture, about seeing the bigger vision. And with everything that's kind of been happening in these last year or two, the clarity is sort of diminished somewhat. Now, for a lot of people, not necessarily everyone, but if you are lacking clarity and you're not really sure where you're going, instead of having a big vision about something and wanting to create a bigger goal and move towards a bigger goal, shrink it down into baby steps, thinking about, well, what am I going to do this week? What does this week look like? What 3 actions could I take today that's going to help move me forward in some way? So, for instance, it could just be taking action on picking up that hobby that you really wanted to do, or it could be finishing off a project that you've been working on, or it could be looking at ways that you could boost your motivation because perhaps that's been lacking somewhat. And just be gentle with yourself and just give yourself a little bit of focus, daily focus, weekly focus. But if you have a bigger goal and a bigger vision, great. But if you're finding that as you're focusing on that bigger vision, it's stopping you from moving forward, that's not helpful. It's more helpful to actually just get up the next day, think, right, okay, what 3 actions could I take today, or 5 actions? And that will just help you move towards something. And then as the fog starts to clear, you'll get a better idea about where you're going, and you'll start to have more clarity. So those are my 3 tips. I hope they've been helpful. And if you would like any further information, I do offer a free consultation. Just visit my website, carolinerushforth.com, and I'll leave the link below. Thanks a lot. Bye.